Okay, so after yesterday's video where we covered off all the new health and ammo systems being added into Battlefield 5, we've got another, and in my opinion, equally interesting feature to talk about. The introduction of manual leaning. This is a feature present in some other first-person shooter games out there like Rainbow Six Siege and PUBG, and it seems now DICE is adding it to Battlefield 5 for people who want to use it. Now, I've got all the details that we currently have right now of the implementation in front of me, so let's talk through that stuff and then explore what this could actually mean for Battlefield 5. Okay, here's the features that we know about so far, and bear in mind this is not taken from patch notes or anything like that, this is just taken from tweets from the developers on Twitter. First of all, manual lean can only be activated when you're aiming down the sights of your gun. That's the same as the current automatic lean built into Battlefield 5. If you spam the lean from side to side, then the movement itself will slow down massively as you move from side to side. The transition between leaning from side to side is also relatively slow, so if you start spamming it, you're not going to have a great time. Your movement speed when you're using the manual lean is decreased by half. On console, if you choose to enable the manual lean, in ADS you hold down R3 and then you use strafe to lean left and right. A different option will allow you to make L3 and R3 do the leaning each way and not allow strafe when it's active. On PC, you're going to be able to assign buttons to the left and right lean in the settings menu. Manual leaning only works while standing or in a crouch position. Manual leaning doesn't work whilst bipoded, and it's built upon the existing automatic leaning. So there's no new animations, there's no new poses that are being added to the game. Now, according to Drunksy, Florian, the designer over at DICE Stockholm, the decision to add manual leaning was led by a want to improve player experience and as an alternative to the contextual automatic leaning that's already in the game, which isn't always consistent. However, just by reading through some of those features that we now know about, it is clear that the team at DICE has considered what kind of an effect adding manual leaning into the game might have, and how players might start to use it to gain an advantage. It seems that they've already thought about that situation. Firstly, the decision to implement an anti-spam measure. If a player decides to spam left and right in manual lean, then the speed of that lean movement is going to dramatically decrease, and it's going to leave you looking like a right plum, and somebody's just going to shoot you in the head. This is kind of similar to the anti-bunny hop feature that DICE first introduced with Battlefield 4 that stopped players from spamming the jump button by reducing the height of the jump each time if the jump move was activated too soon after the last one, and that was a massive issue in the days of Battlefield 3. Doing the lean wiggle, so moving from side to side, that is an issue that both PUBG and Rainbow Six suffer from, and so to see DICE limit that right out of the box with this new feature is great news. Second, the reduction in movement speed whilst using the manual lean. This is going to stop players peeking in and out of cover using strafe instead of leaning to the side and then back to the middle again. Since the lean animation is quite slow, using strafe would have been a way to work around that limitation, but again, DICE has thought of that, and they're providing a blocker to stop exploitation of that new mechanic. It's also been confirmed that if you've applied ADS movement speed increase specializations to your weapons and then you use manual leaning, the reduction is taken away from that slightly faster speed that you'd have. This means you'll be able to move ever so slightly faster if you have that specialization equipped, but DICE don't think it's going to be a noticeable difference. And thirdly, I'm really happy that the feature only works whilst you're aiming down the sights of the gun, and not in hipfire. This is going to massively cut down on the amount of situations where players might peek around a corner and spam a few bullets and maybe do damage to an enemy who doesn't have the cover they do. So by limiting it to ADS only, DICE is placing more emphasis on the feature being highly situational, as automatic leaning already is, but this time you can now take more control by leaning manually. Now, I'll be honest, manual leaning isn't a feature that I personally felt Battlefield 5 needed, and I'm not sure it would have been massively high on many players' lists of features that they would like to see ending up in the game, but it is nice that DICE has put in the work to make it happen, and now they're going to offer players who do want more control the opportunity to take more control. With DICE admitting that the automatic leaning isn't as consistent as they'd like it to be, this is definitely a good solution to that, and it allows players who do use the leaning function a better experience if they want it. Separate from manual leaning, moving on to something slightly different, I wanted to mention in this video a potential change to AP mines. They're the bane of many players' existences in Battlefield 5 at the moment, and they're becoming a massive nuisance since they can be very easily hidden from player view, and they're just placed around those resupply stations all the damn time, and it's so annoying. It seems DICE want to rebalance the AP mines. This comment here from Florian Drunksy states that he's working on a set of changes for the AP mines for a future patch coming sometime next month. That's good news in my eyes. I think it's a change that DICE needs to make at this point. And if they're able to increase the visibility of the AP mines in those darker areas, much the same way as they're trying to do with players in dark areas, that would be awesome as well. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about those changes to AP mines in the next few weeks. Okay then, so some big changes coming to Battlefield 5, both in the next patch and the ones coming next month as well. We're now very close to the new Mercury map releasing for the game, and God knows I am ready for that new map. So combine that with some nice quality of life improvements, and Battlefield 5 is shaping up for a good end to May and start of June. But a big thank you for watching today. Let me know how you feel about these changes down below in the comments section. And until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.